What's your favorite scary movie?
Oh, come on, you know I don't watch that shit.
Why not? Too scared?
No, it's just what's the point? They're all the same. Some stupid killer stalking some big-breasted girl who can't act, who's always running up the stairs when she should be going out the front door. It's insulting.
Hello.
That's so short.
And welcome to episode Choose Your Own Adventure.
Cheers.
Cheers. We're drinking from our new, hold on,
Whiskey fund.
our new official KK whiskey.
Catherine's feeling
Yep, it is great. I love it.
Welcome.
Hi. Hello.
What's up?
How are you?
Great.
Good. Kim and I are, these are Kim and Ket's doppelgangers talking right now. The real Kim and Ket have been killed off, and these are the sewer Kim and Ket. Sorry. It's so good. Hi.
Hello.
I missed you. Hello.
Do you have any things to share? I have one thing, and it's a bummer,
Oh, great. Let's hear it.
but I really want to talk about it.
Okay, what?
So I listened to this podcast. I just want to do a shout out. God damn it. It's already started. How come whenever it's my episode, I can't talk?
A shout out. I think because you have so many words flying around your little
I just get
sweet
real
brain.
excited.
Yeah. And just words are just bloop, 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 flop it out.
I just want to shout out another podcast.
Okay.
It's called TwistedPhilly.
I remember what I wanted to talk about. Yes. TwistedPhilly.
So I'm from Philly, for anyone
Correct.
who doesn't know that already.
Yes.
And this is Kim.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
So
TwistedPhilly.
my brother texted me and was like, you need to listen to this podcast.
Okay.
TwistedPhilly, you'll know which episode it is. And I reply being like, oh my God, yes, so excited, assuming it's like a fucking like awesome Philly story.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, no, don't be excited. And I was like,
Okay.
and then I look up the podcast, and the first episode is called Little Eddie Polec.
Oh, no.
I'm going to cry.
Oh, God.
I don't even know if I need to share this, but it was just like so impactful that I really want to shout her out because she did such a good job. So the host is Emery.
Okay.
So when I was in 6th grade, my neighborhood basically like got in a fight with another neighborhood in Philly. She goes so deep into what happened. It was like really hard for me to listen to, but great to listen to because like I was young. So there was like some facts I didn't know, but like, so like my oldest brother was like friends with him. Like I think he was there that night, but he has like a in memory of Ed like tattoo and shit like that. And so I can go a little more into it, but like it was basically like the girls from Abington like I lived in this neighborhood called Fox Chase, and they came there and like people ended up like throwing a soda like at their car, and it ended up going like inside the window, and like soda got all over them. And then so they went back to their high school, like Abington, and were like, basically rumors started swirling, and like somehow it like swirled into like one of the girls got like sexually attacked or something like that.
Oh my God.
And it was all just because like a soda got thrown in the car.
Yeah.
So like the boys from Abington then like came in like in carloads, like to the point of like one of them wanted to rent like a U-Haul apparently to like get a shit ton of people
Jesus.
into our neighborhood, and like went to like the rack. And it's funny because when I talk about stuff on here about like the tracks and things like that. And there's like everyone hung out at McDonald's, which was like you cross the tracks, then like you go literally through a fence that was like a hole in the fence that people just kept opening, and they would keep closing it up, and then we keep opening it again.
Our childhoods were different.
That's what my brother said when I was home. He's like, you and Catherine have different childhoods. And then you go to the rack, and like I wasn't a person who hung out at the rack. Like I hung out at like different other places, but all very similar. So like cars were like in the McDonald's parking lot, then cars were like at the wreck, and they were basically started like, and like got out of their cars with just baseball bats and started just fucking chasing after kids in Fox Chase.
Oh my fucking
and
God.
like beating the shit out of people.
This sounds like a fucking Ben Affleck movie.
Yeah. and didn't know them.
Or like why
was
this was
specific.
happening.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And so Eddie Polec like ended up kind of like, like I didn't know this either, like his little brother was there too, so he like made sure like his little brother got away, and then like he like kind of got separated and was like alone, and like he ends up like getting like he basically ends up like getting attacked, but it was on the steps. I went to Catholic school, and it was on the steps of our church, which is the church and the school are connected. So literally I would go out to recess, and you could see the blood stains.
Jesus Christ.
And there would be flowers there and stuff like that, you know. And it was like horrifying to hear like the actual story because like I knew he got like, so he like died. He got like beat to death with baseball bats by like a bunch of like fucking high schoolers who like to the point of like them picking him up and like just swinging at, like holding him up. To keep hitting him. And I was like, you fuckers are monsters.
Yeah. Did they go to, you probably
went
told me
to
this,
jail.
But
She talks about it too, but they went to jail, but like not for that long. Like basically some of them are getting like 15 years or something. And like some of them are basically getting out at this point, which is bonkers to think about.
Jesus.
Like I'm like, you're fucking monsters. And like, it was just like really fucking sad, especially when you hear like all that happened and that it was like literally for no reason.
For no
like,
reason.
They didn't know this kid and they just like literally beat him to death. Like apparently like his brain spun around like in his head, in his skull or something. Yeah,
that can happen.
It was really bad. So like
this is an actual horror movie.
Yeah, no, exactly. And his mom was like the crossing guard and she was so sweet. Like she'd always like she knew every fucking person. Like I would go one way to go home and one way to go to my mom's house, like my grandmother's house. And so hers was to my grandmother's was like her crossing street, and like so she'd always be like, how's grandma, like hey Kim, like she knew everyone's fucking name, like she was the sweetest fucking lady. And what happened was is like apparently there were like 14 to 20 911 calls throughout that night, and it took like 40 minutes for any cops to get there. And I didn't realize this, but at the time, like
that's
nothing
unacceptable.
was like it's unacceptable.
It was 14 minutes even in Us.
Exactly.
Movie. That's unacceptable.
And nothing, one of the reasons is because like a lot of things weren't connected. So like they didn't realize, like it's not like neighborhood people that are answering the calls. So they didn't realize that like these were all connected calls, because it was basically some were like there's a mob out here. Yeah. And some were like noise disturbances. So some got lowered down, and like they didn't realize that it was literally
all the same
blocks.
thing.
It was 3 blocks all calling 911. So, and so like, yeah, they ended up like his family like fought for years to like get the system changed. Wow. And like really like went through it. Like they were like on Oprah like talking about it.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Because like at one point the mayor was like, yeah, we'll do something about it. And then they kind of didn't. And then like Eddie Polec's like dad like just kept fucking fighting.
Wow. They actually, I can't wait to listen to, I mean, I want to listen to it. Not that I can't wait to listen to it. You know what I mean?
Horrifying. Yeah.
But I feel like it's important to listen to stories like that.
Yeah, because it really shows like, I don't know, like it's like they're just, it's I don't know. It's definitely mob mentality for sure, but it's just like they're monsters. Like it's insane.
The podcast I'm listening to, speaking of wires getting crossed when calls come in, I'm listening to Live and Die in LA, the Neil Strauss documentary, you know what I'm saying, podcast. One of the problems that they had, and I won't go into like any spoilers about the case, but that apparently the tip line and 911 calls at a police station, that's unacceptable, what you're talking about. Right. But they say it's actually really difficult because we really underestimate the amount of like pranks or crazy people or fake tips or shit like that comes in. And so as someone who works at a dispatch office, granted, I am dispatching substitute teachers. Nowhere close to what they're dealing with. Yeah. But you do become really desensitized
for sure
to issues, whatever those issues may be, when you're answering the phone constantly and you know the percentage of shit that was not worth your time and you wasted an hour on it. It's like, it's really hard to differentiate those
part
things.
Of what they got changed, because apparently in Philly, or maybe Pennsylvania at least, there was like no, it was like 3 weeks of training. Like they had no emotional training, like no, they had just had no training. And like apparently, so actually in Pennsylvania, like 911 calls are not releasable apparently, or something like that. But because when people started listening, because apparently some of the 911 operators were giving like attitude to people.
Oh my God.
Like they just had no training, no whatever. Yeah. And so like a cop, like a still unnamed cop, like heard them and released them to the press because they were so fucking bad. Like they were like, this is horrifying. And it like, that's part of what helped too, is like the press finally got a hold of it. And but anyway, Deanna did like an amazing job, because like she literally like starts to hold back tears like a lot. Like she did it with like such compassion and like such empathy for like the family and everything that happened. And like as someone who like literally experienced it, like I was like in 6th grade and like just seeing like I had like
on the stairs.
I am OEP was like written on everyone's things, like on our book bags, which is like in memory of Eddie Polec. Like we'd write it like everywhere, and like
Wow.
Yeah. And so I don't know. I just wanted to shout her out.
Thanks
She
for
did a
sharing
really,
that,
really
Bernsey.
good job.
So say the name of the podcast again.
It's called TwistedPhilly.
Oh my God, I can't wait to listen.
The episode is little Eddie Polec. So.
Well, I have an upper,
Please.
that remind. So what
Sorry
you
to
were
bring
saying reminded
everyone
me. No. I'm so glad you shared. I think it's like fucking share the shit out of stuff that's good. Like let's
And I just really appreciate
and people that are
it as
doing
someone who lived through it in like a outsider way. But I don't know. It was my neighborhood.
So this is an interesting story that ties back to our Black Christmas episode.
Okay.
Where we talked about the brothel law.
Right.
In Maryland.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So, you know my parents' neighborhood. It's an older neighborhood and it's all houses, I would say 3 to 5 bedrooms would be the average, and like everyone has a big backyard. That's the vibe of the neighborhood. Our neighbors, Tim and Joe, who we love, after their daughter went off to college, they decided to sell their house, which was like super sad because like they're my parents' neighbors.
Yeah.
Now, here's what's crazy. They're having a really tough time selling the house, which is insane to me because it's a beautiful fucking house. You've seen it. Apparently, people that come to our neighborhood are really turned off by the fact that you can hear the freeway past the woods. Can you even picture hearing the freeway? Yeah, like if I listen for it, I can hear it, but apparently it's like deterring people from buying this beautiful house, which I just think is insane. So anyway, they've been having trouble selling the house, but they've already moved out of it. So like they've been renting it. Okay.
Yeah.
So they've rented it to a couple different people that like didn't work out. They then started renting it to, I believe, these 2 students from Johns Hopkins, I believe. But my parents have been super frustrated because there are no less than 7 souped up Mustangs in the driveway and outside of the house at all times that have like the mufflers that are like supposed to be loud.
Yeah.
My mom was like, I've had several heart attacks just from them like starting the fucking car. And they're incredibly inconsiderate. Like one day my dad came out to leave for work and there was a car just parked in front of our driveway. And he was furious, like absolutely insanely infuriated. And my mom, you know how my mom is like super into like litter and making like picking up litter. Like on her walk, she brings a trash bag with her.
Super into litter.
Yeah, she's super into litter.
Loves litter.
Loves it. But she like brings a trash bag with her when she walks the dog. They would get out. They would open their car door in the driveway and just throw trash on
garbage
the lawn.
Humans.
Total garbage humans. They would smoke outside and just throw their butts into my parents' yard. Like just garbage people.
Yeah.
And super loud. And my parents are really chill, but it got to the point where like my mom was like calling Tim being like, dude, we've been chill, but like what the fuck?
Yeah.
And this isn't like the kind of neighborhood where it's like there's like it's like a frat house next door.
Yeah.
and they're kind of like, we would have been chill about it if they had been like float under the radar, you idiots.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I didn't give a fuck and was like partying like crazy in college, but I did not just throw garbage out the door of my car.
If you get one warning, you're like, oh shit, like let's float under the radar to an extent. There was no floating. Like they drove onto my parents' lawn.
That's kind of when Jenna and I lived in the
what's it house? Did you drive onto people's lawn though? Did you drive your car onto people's
like
lawn?
Our landlord, we might have gotten kicked out of that house. Like our landlord was like, the cops keep coming for noise disturbances and you're not stopping having parties. Right. And we were like,
sure.
Right. The Zippy House.
Yeah. So, okay. Maybe you guys were dicks as well. So
I think it's just college. You're just like, but I'm still going to have a party every weekend.
So these are grad students.
Why would I not?
Yeah.
Why would I not have a party every weekend?
Agreed. These are grad students. And my parents were finally like, they're like throwing trash at our house. Like, I don't know what to tell you. So Tim finally was like, you're out of here. Do you know the way you got them out?
Brothel law?
The brothel law. The fucking brothel law. Yeah. Because somebody signed the lease and there were 8 different names living there when the person came to be like, who lives here? And it was like no names were connected. They also had a car that they parked in front of another neighbor's driveway, blocking it, that was unregistered. So like the neighbor was like, I'm reporting your car, you fucking idiots. So Tim
That's
finally,
hilarious.
so Tim finally like got them out, but like I'm still like, you know, did they actually get out? So Tim goes to check. They lived there for 8 months.
Uh-huh.
This is the horror movie.
Oh no, the house.
They, amongst other things, like they flooded the finished basement because they just didn't pay the propane bill. And in Baltimore, if you don't pay the propane bill, you don't have heat, your water freezes, your pipes freeze, they explode.
Whoa.
And then lots of other things. But the creepiest thing was they never, ever took the trash out.
What?
He walked out onto his beautiful deck and it was covered in dozens and dozens and dozens of bags of trash.
That's bizarre.
Bizarre.
That's weird.
Bizarre.
College, no college. That's weird.
That's why when you were like, you're in college, I was like, you weren't doing this. This is
Well,
not
no, because that's bizarre.
bizarre. Yeah. That's why I was like, we're not talking about the same
a
thing.
hoarder, but
But you take the trash
not so much
out.
that I want to swim through trash.
Right. Yeah. It was just ridiculous. So I just love, I was like, I can't wait to tell this, that the brothel law got them kicked out.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Wow. We were tangent central today.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we just talked for 45 minutes already. Should we talk about a horror movie?
Let's do it.
Oh, should we sing a song?
Okay. What's another 45 minutes?
We'll do this quick.
Okay.
Dee-dee-dee, dee-dee-dee, boop, boop, boop. Finding the thing.
I like when you finding it leads into the song.
It is City Loves Puddin'.
I'm sorry. City loves
Puddin'.
puddin'. City loves puddin'. Puddin' loves city. City and puddin'. Sitting in a tree. City loves puddin'. Puddin' loves city. City and puddin'. Sitting in a tree.
Thanks, City Loves Puddin'.
That was good. High five. Thank you for your review, City Loves Puddin'. I would love to know the story behind your name.
I know. Email us. Tell us what's that about.
Yeah. Okay.
I like puddin'.
So for those, I like cities. So for those of you that tuned in to hear about a horror movie, here it goes. You can tune in now.
You could fast forward to this is where you stop fast forwarding.
Yeah. Hello,
this is a horror movie. It is called, you have no idea what I did, right?
I don't. I'm so excited.
I did Summer of 84.
Ooh, Summer of 84. Yes, let's hear it.
Here we go. Lauren Ketron Porter Martin,
Yes.
you have the opportunity to get 32 points.
Okay.
We'll start with Dead or Alive.
Okay.
Davey.
Boy.
Yes.
Okay. Dead.
Woody.
Dead.
Faraday.
Boy. Girl.
Boy.
Alive.
Coal River.
Human.
Yes, boy.
Great. Dead.
Nikki.
O'Reilly O'Shea.
That's for you, Christian Flores on Twitter.
Yeah. Alive.
Mr. Mackey.
Dead.
Dad.
Alive.
Mom.
Alive. What was that face?
That's just so sentimental. Okay. So we open up on 80s music playing. There's a kid riding his bike. He's like 15-ish. He's 15.
Ish.
I know he's 15.
Okay.
But if I had to have guessed, I would have said younger.
You would have said 7. A toddler. What are you doing out on a bike, toddler?
Toddler riding a bike. So he's like a paper boy, kind of driving through like suburbia kind of neighborhood, like delivering the paper. And It says Ipswich, Oregon, June 1984. And it's a voiceover from him. And he's like, as we're like just driving through the neighborhood, neighbors out saying hi, da da da. And he's like, even serial killers live next door to somebody. Tough pill to swallow, I know. But it's true. If I've learned anything, it's that people hardly let you know who they really are. Just past the manicured lawns and friendly waves, inside any house, even the one next door, anything could be happening and you'd never know.
True.
And
people could be not throwing out their trash for 8 months.
Right? Monsters. And that's the thing about this place. It all might seem normal and routine, but the truth is the suburbs are where the craziest shit happens.
True.
You never know what might be coming around the corner. And he stops at one house and he pulls out the newspaper and like on the front of it says, boy still missing. And it's like a picture of a missing kid.
Okay.
And his neighbor comes out the house he stopped at and he's like, hey, Mr. Mackey. And he's like, wow, you're like covered in dirt. And he's like, yeah. And Mr. Mackey's like, yeah, I've been gardening. And the kid is like, hey, you didn't leave money in your mailbox for the newspaper. And Mr. Mackey's like, oh, has it been a month already? And he's like, sorry, Mr. Forgot. And he's like, actually, can you help me lift something?
No, don't
like,
help anyone lift.
What?
Because they are Buffalo Bill and they are going to lift you into their van and they're going to kill you and put you in a hole. Did you learn nothing from Silence of the Lambs?
Puts the lotion on the basket. In the basket.
No, on the basket. She's lotioning up.
basket.
She's lotioning up the basket.
Oh, man. Words.
Keep going.
Words. And he's like, yeah, I'll give you the money. We'll kill two birds with one stone. So they go inside the house and there's lots of pictures of like family everywhere. And there's pictures of Mr. Mackey in a cop uniform. So clearly he's a cop, but there's like just pictures all over the wall of like, 80s family.
Sure. Lots of bangs, lots of shoulder pads. Got it.
And there's a dresser there and he's like, oh, I want to carry it downstairs because I'm getting a new one. So they carry it down into the basement. Bang! And there's a loud noise and they turn and it's like the hot water heater. Just is like making noises and shit. And so the kid looks behind him and sees a door that's locked with a padlock and then like another doorway that's kind of like a red lit room that has a sink. Mm-hmm. And he's like, what's in there? And he's like, oh, Mr. Mackey's like, oh, I'll show you. And they go in and pictures are like hung everywhere. So it's like a dark room.
Yeah.
And Mr. Mackey's like, I'm an amateur photographer. And the kid's like, oh, I'm actually an amateur videographer.
Oh.
And then they kind of like start chatting. He's like, how old are you now? And he's like 15. And they kind of start chatting. He's like, about the family because clearly
Kim
they live
crosses out toddler, writes 15.
15, not 2. Okay, great. And he was definitely 10 to 35.
Sure.
But I found out very quickly he was 15. So that worked out well for me. And just that, like, they've, he's like, I remember your dad bringing you home from the hospital. Like, they've lived next door to each other forever, basically. And they have, like, a weird chat, too, about, like, the family and photos where it's just the guy's kind of just like, oh, like, I guess the kid's like, you have a lot of family. And he's like, yeah, but you never want him living too close to you or something like that. So, he's there alone, like, but it's, like, extended family, you would think. Like, it's not, like, a wife and kids sort of thing.
Got it.
And now it's nighttime. And there's a bunch of kids outside playing with flashlights and it kind of looks like they're doing a hide and seek thing, but they call it Manhunt.
Ooh.
And our same kid, his name's Davey. So Davey is hiding in some bushes, which happens to be outside Mr. Mackey's window. And inside Mackey's house, he sees sitting at the kitchen table, this kid with curly hair inside, kind of like Chubby Kid with curly hair, who did not look like a ginger. But for the rest of time, they refer to him as a ginger for whatever reason. But maybe I missed it.
Well, meaning red hair?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Almost never do Eric and I agree on who gingers are. I'm wondering if there's like some sort of genetic rods and cone thing happening in people's eyeballs.
We can't see.
Like, because there are people where he's like, yeah, that ginger. And I'm like, that hair is not red.
It's like, no, he's brunette.
Yeah, like I'm like, Ron Weasley has red hair.
Yeah,
that's
for
red
sure.
hair.
For sure.
But then there's other people where he's like, that redhead. I'm like, you mean that blonde? What is happening?
Yeah. And it was like a quick glance in and I'm taking notes. So like maybe, but like it never struck me as that.
No, if you're going to get called a ginger,
yeah,
I want to see some fire.
Flame red hair.
Yes.
Flames coming out your head.
Otherwise, you don't get the title. All right, continue.
Regardless. He's inside sitting at the kitchen table, and Mackie's standing there on the phone, kind of above him. All of a sudden, someone comes and like finds Davey, and because they're manhunting.
Oh, right.
And someone's like, "Okay, meet me in the tree at the treehouse in 15." So now we're in the treehouse with 4 boys, and one of them's looking at porn, and they're like, "Vaginas are magical."
Too true, little man. Too true.
Now they're talking about sex and the bases and which one they've been to and shit like that, which like probably none of them have been to none of them. Yeah. So it's 4 boys, and to me they're very reminiscent of Stand By Me.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. Which I fucking love that movie. So there's the main kid who's Davey, who's been the one we've been following, who's the paper boy, who is basically Will Wheaton / Gordy. There's clearly the bad boy, who is River Phoenix.
Kim's boyfriend. Yeah.
Who I love. Who is played by none other than Cole from The Babysitter.
Cole?
So he's Cole River Phoenix.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Get it together, Cole.
Get it together, Cole. So now he's a bad boy.
What a little cute. Ooh.
Yeah, he survived. He survived The Babysitter and became a bad boy.
I have a question, because also he was in The Christmas Chronicles with Kurt Russell.
Right.
So, and he was starting to get hot. Like he was little baby in Babysitter.
Right.
Starting to get hot in Christmas Chronicles, but still was inappropriate for me to think so. Where are we now?
I mean, I think he's still 15.
So it's still inappropriate for me to feel that. Okay, great. Cool. Just needed to know where I stood with the law.
Yeah. Gonna say inappropriate.
Okay.
So then there's the chubby kid, who's Jerry O'Connell / Vern / in this movie he's called Woody.
Okay.
So Woody's the chubby kid. And then there's the glasses kid, of course, Corey Feldman.
Sure.
Who's Teddy, and in this one he's Faraday, which
it.
is his last name. So they're all chatting, talking about sex, and like somehow it's Cole River Phoenix's treehouse, and it comes up that his dad wants to tear it down or something like that.
No, don't do it.
Yeah. And they're talking about the missing kids. And Davey thinks it's a conspiracy. And he's like, it's not random. There's like a vast government cover up or something like that. And they're like, and he's like, last summer a kid goes missing from this neighborhood, and now there's one missing from this neighborhood. And, it turns out like Davey's kind of just a conspiracy guy.
Right.
Because they're all like, yeah. Like, I mean, you used to think that something about our house is being built on Indian burial grounds, and a light bright something conspiracy.
Those light bright conspiracies. Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Well, they were sending messages to you through the papers that you had to write. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. The electromagnetic.
That's not a conspiracy. That's true.
Anyway, they're all like, okay, blah, blah, blah. Sure, Davey. And they're like, all right, gotta go make a withdrawal from the spank bank.
Oh God.
Like they just
do 15-year-old boys just only jerk off? Like, is that all they do?
This is how I feel in the movie. Or I mentioned it so many times where I'm just like, is this all they think and talk about is sex? Because I'm exhausted.
I guess Eric says that being a 15-year-old boy is like not fun because you can't do anything other than want to fuck anything.
Stop.
I'm like, ugh, I want to
get it.
Yeah, God.
And it's like they're kids in the 80s, which like Eric has talked about too, where it's like they have to work to get porn.
Yeah, it was like a job.
It's exciting every time they see it. So now we're with Davey in his bedroom, and he actually has conspiracy newspapers like posted all over the wall.
Oh, Lord.
Like he legit is super into it. And his mom comes up. He's like sitting in his bed, and his mom comes up to kind of tuck him in. And he's like, "Mom, you don't need to tuck me in." And she's like, "I know. Maybe it's just for me."
Oh,
and
cute
it's like
mom.
Cute, yeah. And we find out like we're like Dad's not there because he's a reporter, and she's like, "I don't know, like he's not home yet," which means there's something important to be reported on right now. So now Davey has a walkie-talkie that clearly the 4 boys all have, and so they walkie-talkie to each other. And he walkies to friends. Maybe boning talk, or bowling tomorrow. They talk about sex so much.
Boning talks. That makes sense.
Was a very good guess for something that started with a B, ended with a G, and then started with a T.
Yeah, there you go.
He's like, "Hey, let's go to blah 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 lanes tomorrow." Then they again talk about girls
Boning.
and
Right.
something about, Davey's going to jizz in his pants or blah, blah, blah.
Davey, God.
And they're just like busting each other's balls, basically.
Literally keep it in your pants and literally stop busting your balls.
So now Davey has binoculars like every other kid in the 80s,
Sure,
of course,
sure.
kind of just looking out his window across the street to like inside like a girl's bedroom, clearly, but no one's in there. And then to another house that I'm like, is that Mr. Mackey's house? I feel like yes. Now it's the next day and we're out in Davey's driveway and his dad has a actual news van outside. So his dad's like sitting kind of like, on the side of the van playing with like the video camera.
Okay.
And Davey is like, the trash cans had all fell over and the trash was like all over the driveway. So he's like picking up the trash and they're talking about like, the raccoons and da-da-da. And something about like Davey wanting to be like the next Spielberg.
Oh, cute.
Yeah. So it's like, and so he's into like that his dad has a video camera and everything like that. So now the crew is like biking 80s style to the bowling alley. It's 80s music playing, obviously. And they get there and it's like just full of high schoolers and there's like hot girls and cheerleaders. And then they look over to the DJ and it's Nikki Kazuba.
Whoa.
Nikki O'Reilly O'Shea O'Mary. And
Hey.
she's just like perfect hot chick that they're all in love with. And turns out she was Davey's babysitter back in the day.
Wow.
I know.
Okay.
So a couple years ago. So she's probably like a little bit, it sounded similar to like a little bit older than them,
Yeah.
but whatever. Now we get back to Davey's family eating dinner in front of the TV on their TV tables.
Oh my God, this is so 80s.
So it's the mom, dad, and Davey. And they're talking about the Bay Festival that happens every year and how someone might, like, I guess they get like a newsletter or something about it. And it's like, oh, so-and-so might be playing at the Bay Festival. And Davey's like, wait, Nikki isn't DJing it? And the parents are like, no, because Nikki's parents are getting divorced.
Oh, poor Nikki.
And so like shit's going on with her family. And they're like, oh my God. Like the mom's like, I had no idea. How did you know that? And the dad's like, well, you never know what's going on in anyone else's houses. Uh-oh. That's what curtains are for.
Foreshadowing.
So then we go like back up to Davey's room and he's looking out with the binoculars again into what we're assuming now is maybe Nikki's room.
house. Yeah.
But again, she's not in there. The phone rings. Davey goes to pick it up, but the dad's like already on the phone and he like starts to put it back, but then he's like, wait, he like hears them say something and it's the reporting office.
Yep. Hello, reporting office? I have something to report.
It's his work. And they're like, hey, we got a letter from someone calling themselves the Cape May Slayer. And he says he's killed 13 kids so far. The story's breaking now. Like, we need you to come in.
Shit.
So they're in Cape May. And Davey like immediately runs upstairs and starts walkie-talkieing the guys. And he's like, hey there, you guys. And it immediately starts with them making a sex joke. And I'm like, oh my God. Always.
Oh my God.
I'm exhausted.
I can't. God. Apparently this is accurate. Apparently that's literally all they did. Let's talk about sex.
So he walkie-talkies them and is like, the missing boys, I was right. They're all related. It's a serial killer. And it's on the news. And he goes downstairs and his mom is watching the news and it's actually like the popo being like, we've confirmed that it's like the death. He says he caused the death of 13 teenage boys and 2 adults. We now believe we have an active serial killer. We believe it's a white male, age 30 to 40. He targets males 12 to 16 years old.
Jeez.
So
rude.
The gang now is all in Davey's room. And Davey's like, this is the coolest thing that's ever happened. And then one of them's like, no, it's not. That is. And they're like, titties.
Oh my
Because now
God.
Nikki is across the street changing through the window, but her back is to them.
Sure.
And they're all staring out the window, but Davey's like standing behind them. And he's like, show some respect. And all of a sudden she turns around and they all duck down. And then he's
Davey's
just
just
standing
there.
there.
Oh, no.
And so she sees him and he's like, fuck. And like ducks down immediately. And he's like, get damn it. So now they're at the library. More sex jokes.
God.
I don't ever want to be a 15-year-old
I
boy.
know.
Please don't reincarnate me as that.
Please don't. Yeah.
Anyway. So Faraday and Davey are like, because Faraday's like obviously the smart one, like, so he like comes there to study and stuff. So they are like trying to get down to business. So Woody and Cole River kind of like walk off to go do their own thing. And they're like, why would the killer write the letter now? And they start kind of looking through newspaper articles. Do you remember those things that they used to have?
Microfiche?
Microfiche.
Yeah.
I wrote newspaper machine thingy. I like remember being very little and having to go with my mom to the library one time for her to look at things. I don't know why.
Yeah, why would your mom need to look at microfiche?
Maybe like for nursing school stuff. I mean, she already was a nurse when I was born, but like maybe she was upgrading.
Had to take a course or something like that.
Yeah, maybe she was taking a course of some sort.
Interesting.
But whatever, there was no internet. It's like,
Right. You had to go to a
I
fucking
just,
library.
Like, vaguely recall seeing her look through the machine of newspaper
Microfiche stuff, yeah.
Microfiche. And I was like, huh. So they were looking through that, and it was all articles on the missing kids. And then all of a sudden you hear Peek-a-Boobs. And one of the guys had like found some maybe porn magazine or something that had some type of boob. I guess it wasn't porn. It was like some type of boob in something that they like put in front of their face.
Please know this.
What?
From here to eternity, every time I am changing in front of you or in front of Sink, every time I take my shirt off, I will say, Peek-a-Boobs.
I don't want you to.
They can't be stopped.
So yeah, so like the other boys had come back and blah blah blah. But like within that, like they'd seen like basically like picture after picture of like missing boys and things like that. So now it's pre-night and they're walking around with flashlights, but like it's
Not dark yet.
barely. Yeah,
It's barely single night.
It's pre-night for
Right.
sure. It's like specifically.
Right.
So they're walking around with flashlights, and now there's like kind of other kids like with the neighborhood too. And our gang is kind of like, where's Sammy? Like, we need him in order to have the numbers. And one of them's like, oh, I haven't heard from Sammy in like a couple days. And I'm like, that's weird. And they're like, oh, but their family's like car is there. Let's go get him. So they go to Sammy's house, who we don't know who Sammy is at this point, but they like need him for like to play Manhunt.
Okay.
Basically, they're going to play Manhunt in the neighborhood, and they need him for the numbers.
Right. To make the teams even, perhaps?
I guess. I don't,
Yeah.
you know,
I got it.
kid stuff.
So I got there.
Who knows?
Peek-a-Boobs.
Peek-a-Boobs. So they're like, let's go get him. So they go to the house. They knock on the door. There's no movement and there's no lights.
Uh-oh.
Question number one, what do you do and what do they do?
Okay. They're going to go around to the back of the house and try to look in the windows, possibly climb fucking in the windows because they're idiot boys. Mm-hmm. What am I going to do? I'm probably going to do the same thing. Like if their car's there, I'm probably going to go around to the back of the house and knock on some windows or try to like look in some other windows and see if I can see anything.
Okay. I'm going to give you 1.5 points.
Okay. Who got the point?
I'll give a point to you
Okay.
because sure. And then basically all of them except Davey are like, oh, well.
Rude.
They're like, peace out. And Davey's like, oh, well.
Yeah.
And so he starts to look around, but the others go home.
Okay.
And he like tries the door, but it's locked and like kind of looks, but like doesn't investigate too much.
Okay. Please break in my house if you think that I should be there and I'm not. I won't be
for
mad.
sure.
Okay. Great.
So now Davey's making a PB&J sandwich.
Peanut butter.
And they're creepy. Ketron talks about peanut butter the way that 15-year-old boys talk about boobs.
sex. Yeah, no, it's true.
Peek peanut butter.
Peanut butter.
So they in his house they have like a little whiteboard like stuck to the fridge
Okay.
to write notes on, and so there's
Did
clearly
they have
a
those
note
in the
from
80s? Like a dry erase board?
yeah. I mean, I don't know. They did in this movie.
I'm suspect. I'm going to look up the invention of dry erase boards.
When were dry erase boards made?
I'm going to look that up. Continue.
I don't know.
And then I'm calling the prop department.
So, I mean, I assume they looked that up. That would be a weird thing to have. Because why don't they just put like a notepad?
I don't know. I'm going to look it up.
All right.
I'm going to
please do.
detectivize this.
Great.
All right.
Cool.
Full
Anyway,
story.
can I go on?
You can.
So, on the whiteboard,
Focusing on the right
it's a note from his parents, and it says they're working late. Call the neighbors if there's an emergency. And like at the bottom of the whiteboard, there's just a list of neighbors and their phone numbers, which clearly kind of stays there.
Yeah.
Like some of them I think were his friends' names and Mr. Mackey and, the whole crew. So he goes in the fridge, grabs a little milk carton.
So you going to drink it?
Yeah, big milk. Told him to drink it.
Oh, fuck.
You know how big milk is.
I do.
So, but he pulls out the milk carton, pours himself some milk. And as any 80s milk carton has,
A child on it.
a missing child. And he looks at it. It's Sammy. No,
Who?
it's Dusty DeWitt,
Oh.
the curly-haired, chubby ginger that he saw in Mackey's house.
Dusty Ginger in Mackey's house.
He goes to the treehouse, talks to the gang, and he's like, Mackey is the Cape May Slayer.
Sure.
I saw him a few weeks ago. Blah, 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 blah. That missing kid was in his house. And he's like, and Sammy, the Hoffman's family, lives next door to Mr. Mackey.
Yeah.
So they have a lake house a few hours away, but their car is still here. So it's not like they're at the lake house for the summer. So their neighbors, what if they saw Mackey and Dusty and then he did something to them?
No jumping to conclusions here.
And then they're talking about Kyle, Cole Rivers' older brother who works at the hardware store.
Okay.
They're like, oh, tell him what Kyle said. Kyle said that Mackey goes to the hardware store every week and buys like 100 pounds of dirt for quote unquote gardening.
What?
And Davey's like, and he had that padlocked door in the basement.
Right.
And they're looking for a white male, 30, 40, who lives alone. And he's a cop, but they're like, he's a cop. So
Cops are bad too, guys.
But like Davey's like, he is a cop, which is why it makes it perfect because he can get away with it.
Right.
He knows all the tricks.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, what's our plan? We need to find out the truth and we need to prove it. That means we're having a stakeout. Operation Mac Attack starts now.
Oh my God. I want to hang out with them.
So then it's kind of like them doing different. They're basically just
The
watching.
montage? Okay.
It's like slight montage, but they're talking throughout it. So
Okay.
it's like 8:24. He leaves his house with a gym bag. Contents unknown. But each one of them just like following him at different times,
With their walkie-talkies.
Yeah. And they're like
so cute.
6:25. Gets home from work. Same bag. Closes the garage door. Always closes the garage door. Gardens a lot. Plants still look like shit though. Dinner alone around 8:30, and he always takes a jog at 11 p.m. for about an hour.
Whoa, that's an aggressive time to jog. Right?
So we're going to catch this fucker and become heroes.
Sure.
So
I
they-
don't see any other outcome as a possibility.
So they're writing there's like a big chalkboard in the treehouse that they like basically write down all of Mackey's movements and like what he does each day. So they have like the whole timeline of like what Mackey does. So now they're in the treehouse and I guess they're in the treehouse. They're somewhere and they're binocularizing, seeing Mackey. They watch him take out the trash at like nighttime, but early night. And they see him drag 2 trash cans like out to the curb.
Like they're heavy?
Seems that way.
Okay.
And they're like 80s trash cans. Like remember just like the silver,
Yes.
like shitty
Yes.
top?
The Groucho,
Yes,
the
Oscar the
Grover.
Grouch is in.
Oscar the Grouch.
What?
Groucho the
Groger?
That's not right. What is it? Oscar the Grouch.
Oscar the Grouch.
His house.
His house.
Yeah.
Yeah. That just like, I don't even know. The tops don't even. Well, why were they always broken? Oh, because it's like the trash men would like take them and then just throw them. Like they're I just feel like they're always bent.
They're always
and, like,
bent, always dented. No top fits on the can.
Yeah.
There's fucking green monsters that live inside all of them.
So they see that happen. Question number 2. What's their plan and what's your plan?
They immediately go and they go through his trash, which I am also going to do when he goes back inside.
Okay. I'm going to give you 1 point
Okay.
because you're getting a half a point for each.
both. Okay.
They realize that he's going to go for a jog at 11 p.m.
Right.
So that's when they go up. They wait for him to leave the house.
Oh, well, duh. Yeah.
No,
okay.
you literally said when he goes back inside, I'm going to go look through the trash, which would probably get you caught.
Okay, fair enough. Half a point. I'll take
Actually,
it.
you know what? I'm only giving you 1/2 a point for them and 0 points for you because you would get caught.
Fuck you. All right.
No, but that makes sense. I mean,
Yeah. Yes.
you
Got
have
it.
to admit that makes sense.
Yes. God damn it.
So you get half a point for them because they do go look through the trash, but they wait for him to leave. So Davey's like, let's just fucking dump the trash on the ground. And they're like, but I mean, he'll notice that something happened. He's like, raccoons. Raccoons went through
Right.
my trash the other night and like fucking left it everywhere.
Yeah.
He'll just think it's raccoons. So they go through everything and there's nothing there. And he's like, maybe they're kind of like, maybe he doesn't do the killings here. And then they're like, we could check the mailbox. And they look in there, porn.
Yay! Peek-a-Boobs.
Peek-a-Boobs. So they check the mail. He's like, we can check the mail every day. I don't know. They get excited about that. Sorry. Nope. Peek-a-ding. So I don't know. They talk about checking the mail and they're like, great. And they're moving on. But so now Woody is like, hey, Davey, do you mind if I like stay over at your place tonight? He's like, I don't really want to be home right now. And Davey's like,
bud?
of course, man. And then so we cut to Woody kind of like he'd gone home to like get his stuff, I guess. And he's like about to like leave the house, but we see his mom just like sitting sad on her couch, like in a nurse uniform, crying, like alone.
God.
It was real sad.
That's
And
Woody's
so-
mom?
Woody's mom.
Oh.
And so Woody's like about to like leave, and then instead he like closes the door and he like goes over to her and he kind of like lays her down and puts a blanket over her and says, I love you, Mom.
Oh, God.
Really sweet.
That makes me really sad.
Yeah. And even like the interaction between the two boys when he's like, I just don't really want to be home right now. And he's like, yeah, buddy, of course.
That's so sweet.
Really sweet. So now we're at Davey's house and we see the clock next to his bed says 12:27 and the doorbell rings. So he goes to the door and he's like, dude, what took you so long? Expecting Woody. It's Nikki. Nikki O'Reilly O'Shea O'Mary.
Nikki, how you doing?
And he's like, Guh-guh.
And then he hits himself in the face with his boner.
And she's like, just immediately like just walks in and is like, chill, cool girl. And it's just like, haven't been here in a while. And she's like, wow, your mom's like moved everything. And he's like, yeah, kind of like a year ago.
But his voice, yeah, kind of like,
And she's like looking around. She just goes to the kitchen, like grabs a soda from the fridge. She's like, where are your folks? And he's like, date night. And she's like, oh, good. And she walks upstairs and into his room. And then she immediately looks out the window and she's like, wow, huh? You have a better view of my room than I thought.
oh shit.
And he's like, I've never seen you naked. And she's like,
I've never seen boobs. I mean, peek-a-boobs. I mean, boobs.
and she's like, oh, too bad because I have a great body.
Oh, God.
And then she starts
Boner hits
looking
him in the face again.
And so she starts looking around the room and sees like the conspiracy clippings
Microfiches.
everywhere, and it all's like from like the journal of something is like clearly the name of like that newspaper. And she's like, damn, like she's like, I remember giving you your first journal. She's like, I didn't know it turned into this.
Yeah.
And
Creep.
she's like, wow, we had a lot of fun. You know, it's crazy how things have changed. And he's like, yeah, I mean, now we're old enough to hang out together.
This
And
really
she's
sounds like the babysitter.
Right,
That's
yeah.
so funny. Okay.
She's like, yeah, too bad that I'm leaving. And
no.
she slowly like walks towards him, like she's gonna kiss him.
And?
And then we hear Davey, and the door opens downstairs.
God damn it!
And she's like, it's his mom. And they're like, we're back. And Nikki like hops out the window, and she's like, sweet dreams.
Oh my God. To wield that type of power at that age. I wonder what that was like.
You just needed to hang out with people younger than you.
Oh.
Now we cut to some new teenage boy that we've never seen before. And it's nighttime. He's leaving the house and, you know, just walking down the street with his backpack. And he looks behind, he kind of hears footsteps. So he like looks behind him and then he kind of starts running and he stops and he looks back and someone grabs him. And he just like gets pulled off screen, and then we hear a car start.
Erner.
Cut back to the gang. They're stealing Woody's mom's station wagon.
Jeez, guys. Good Lord.
So Woody's in the driver's seat. I think maybe Davey's next to him, and the other two
And
in
Woody's
the back.
the one who has the crying mom on the couch.
Yeah,
Got it.
and the chubby kid.
Yeah.
I don't know, but he's like super nervous
Sure.
and scared they're going to get in trouble, you know, and like Cole River is just like, it's fine. You look like you're 30. It's funny. He's like, relax. So Mackie has now his like cop cruiser car that he drives off in, and they're like, go, follow. So they start driving in the station wagon. Mackie makes a pit stop at the hardware store, and they're
Where Cole
parked out-
River's brother works.
Yep.
Got
And
it.
so Cole River's brother Kyle walks out helping him like 2 fucking grocery carts of dirt and shit
Jeez.
to like pile into the cruiser. And I was like, hey, Kyle.
Oh, Kyle, how you doing?
I think Kyle we're allowed to like because he's 20.
Okay.
I mean, he's 20 and works at the hardware store.
Yeah.
They like made some, they talk about that before where it's just like, yeah, no, Nikki's like talking to Cole River's brother Kyle. And they're like, because he's 20, but they're like, yeah, but he works at the hardware store.
Hey, no shame, no shame.
But like, he's like bad boy Kyle. And I
Sure,
was like,
sure.
hey.
Kim's like, what's up?
Also, Kyle's like maybe my favorite boy name.
Is it really?
Because he grew up with like, shout out to the McDermotts if any of you listen. But Kyle, they were like our neighbors. And this kid Kyle, like we just kind of grew up together. And so I don't know. He's like kind of like my first little neighbor friend.
Yeah.
Little kid boyfriendy kind of ish. When you're little kids and it's
I feel
whatever.
like I didn't really know any Kyles.
Yeah. So it just holds a special place in my heart because I love him. So he's like just piling in like, oh, and as they were like driving in the car and stuff, like Davey is telling him the story of Nikki
Coming over.
Yeah. And they like don't believe him at all.
Right.
They're just like, sure.
Yeah.
Right. Cool. So Mackie's like putting bags of dirt, a shovel, and a pickaxe into the fucking police car. Then he drives off. They start to follow. They almost get into a car accident and they freak out and they like, we lost him. And they're like, fuck, let's just go home. So now they're like driving home and we hear whoop, whoop. There's sirens behind them. And a cop is pulling them over and they start freaking out. They're like, is it Mackie? And we just see like from like knee view down, like the cop car open and like legs start walking towards the car. And it's like tension. It's not Mackie.
Okay.
It's Officer Cole.
What?
Last name Cole.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? What? No. Who? Okay.
Just a dude. And he's like, I thought that was you. And he's like, Woody, does your mother know that you stole your car or stole her car? And, you know, blah, blah, blah. And he's kind of like clearly like knows a bunch of them. And he's like, of course, Cole River, you're in here because he's like the bad boy. And he's like, I should bust you right now, but how am I going to like see your mom at church on Sunday? You know? So he's like, look, there's another kid missing. They're talking about canceling the Bay Festival. He's like, get home safe and stay there. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, I'm letting you go. So it's nighttime now. Davey's in his room with his binoculars and he's looking out the window and like Mackie comes home with a different car. It's like an SUV.
Uh-oh.
Clearly a wood paneled SUV.
Of course. Because it's the 80s.
So it's not the cop car. And he's like, fuck, he doesn't have the dirt. Like, where is it?
Oh, yeah, because he got the dirt, but then he's not coming
Put it on the cop car. So
Okay.
he's like, where the fuck is all the dirt then? Because it's not in this car. And then he sees Nikki outside and she like waves to kind of like come over or like come outside. And so now they're outside, like sitting outside somewhere, talking, and they're talking about her parents. And she's like, I just feel like I can't talk to many friends. Like there's no one I can talk to, you know, because all their parents are so happy and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, are your parents happy? And he's like, I think so, you know. And he's also like, you don't know that like, and what anyone else's parents are like, because he's like, you don't know what happens in anyone else's house. So she's like sharing a lot with him. So he's like, can I tell you my secret? And she's like, yeah. And he says, I think Mackie is the Cape May Slayer. And Nikki's like, dude, he's like friends with my dad.
Yeah.
Like, and he's a cop. Like, what are you talking about? And then she's like, wait, you've been spying on him? Like, he's a cop. Like, you need to stop. she's just like, you need to quit it because you're the only person left in town that I even like. And Davey's kind of like, what about Kyle? And she's like, he's 20 and works at the hardware store.
Rude.
So it's the next day, and there's a bunch of kind of like littler kids playing in the street. And Mackie's just sitting outside, like on his lawn, and like with like a cooler next to him. And he's like, "Who wants freeze pops?"
I thought he was going to offer them, "Who wants beer?"
So he like gives them off freeze pops, and it's just like he's sitting there watching them, and it's kind of just like a creep slow zoom into him. So now they're all at the treehouse, and it's nighttime, and Faraday brought whiskey.
Yay!
Hey-o! So they all
Podcast
start
whiskey.
drinking. What?
I said podcast.
Podcast whiskey. So it's like 80s music, and they all start drinking. And Davey's telling them more about Nikki and like that they have a connection, and there's more sex jokes.
Oh, come on.
Like Cole Rivers just like, the only connection he has is like her mouth and my dick, or I don't even know. Whatever. And Davey's like, don't talk about her like that.
Aw.
He's sweet. And they're like, so Mackie, like we've been on him for weeks now. Like if there were any clues, we would have found them by now. And then Davey's like, what if we missed it the first time? So question number 3, where do they decide to go look, and where do you go look?
He says, what if we missed it the first time?
Mm-hmm.
I think I am going to go back to his trash cans and look a little more carefully when he goes for his jog at 11. And what do? They are... Did they ever go into his house at any point? Like, I know that Davey went in...
Mm-mm.
Okay. Then it says, what if we missed it the first time? Then I'm going to say they go through the trash after he goes on a run as well.
I'm going to give you 0 points.
What?
They go back to Sammy's house
Okay.
because they never actually went in there and investigated further.
Oh, okay.
So they go there, and that was like kind of the first place that they ever looked.
Right. Okay.
So they go there, and now the door is unlocked.
Uh-oh.
And the kids are kind of like, I mean, everyone keeps their door unlocked in this neighborhood, like no big deal. But Davey's like, yeah, but it was locked last time.
Yeah. And
So-
they haven't visibly come home, so.
Yeah. And so then they have like a discussion about going in and not going in. So question number 4, do they go in and do you go in?
Oh, I'm going in for shizzle my nizzle. I think they go in as well. Yes.
So Davey goes in, and they all end up following.
Sure.
They try to turn on a lamp. It doesn't work. They have their flashlights because apparently in the 80s, they just carry around flashlights nonstop,
Well, sure.
which is great. I
Yeah.
think it's a good survival guide.
I agree.
Tactic, to be honest.
To always have a flashlight.
Always have a
with you.
flashlight.
A big, giant spotlight flashlight.
So they're walking through the house, and they're like, do you smell that? It smells like roadkill.
Oh, no.
And they're kind of
I bet it's a body of human form.
They walk into the kitchen, and like you kind of see it's like dark, so it's like that same thing where it's just like we're only seeing a little bit of flashlightiness
whatever's
around.
in the path of the light.
Yeah, and it seems like maybe things are spilled on the kitchen counter, and then they look, and like the trash is all over the floor in the kitchen, and then the phone rings, and they all jump. And they're like, ah! And so the phone is like ringing. It's hanging on the wall. And they're like, Woody, go see if the light switch works, like next to the phone. And so he like slowly reaches to the light switch, and a hand comes around the corner, and they all scream. It's Nikki.
Hey, Nikki O'Reilly O'Shea.
Nikki O'Reilly O'Shea. And she goes to like answer the phone, and she's like, what the, like, they're like, what are you doing here? And she's like, the family rented an RV and went to the lake for the summer. And then she's like, they're paying me to watch the stupid cats that made this mess.
Oh.
And she's like, what are you guys doing here?
It all comes together.
And so they kind of like tell her what they're doing there. And she's like, oh, and you think Mackie did it? And then the boys are all like, wait,
Do
you really were talking to her? Because like she already knew about Mackie because he told her.
And they're like,
so,
oh, damn.
Like Cole River is literally like, wait, you really were talking to her? And he goes, were you guys hooking up? And Nikki O'Reilly O'Sherry walks up to them and she just goes, well, he's more of a man than you jerk offs.
Whoa.
And she walks out of the room and they all freak out and they're like, oh damn,
all of their
Davey.
boners hit them in
the
all
face.
of their faces.
They all get black eyes from their boners hitting their
each other's
face.
boners.
Yeah, they're like,
just
boner, my eye. So they all freak out and Nikki like kind of just walked around and like her back's against the wall right behind the doorway and she just smiles because she hears them freaking out and she like knows she was like being sweet to Davey basically.
This is so much like The Babysitter.
Right? It's fun.
Is she in a Satan cult?
Maybe.
I can't wait.
It's the O'Reilly O'Sherry Shiley O'May.
Yep. Nope. Yep. That's what it is.
My jokes are always messed up by my words.
Or better.
We'll go with better.
I go
hopefully. So it's the next day and Davey, for whatever reason, like has a box in his closet and he sees two G.I. Joe walkie-talkies.
Okay.
And he's like, I have an idea.
Okay.
And then he like kind of says on his own walkies to like the guys like, meet me at Manhunt tonight or whatever. But what is his plan? And what would your plan be?
He's going to give a walkie-talkie to Nikki O'Reilly O'Mary O'Shea. Can you explain to me where Mackie's house is in relation to Sam's house in relation to Nikki's house?
I think they're all next door to each other. It seems to be maybe like a cul-de-sac. So it's across the street from Davey's, and then they appear to be next to each
Mackie's
other.
is across the street from Davey's?
Oh, yeah, Mackie's and Nikki's.
Okay.
Like they're next to each other, and Davey's across the street.
I think he's going to give Nikki the other walkie-talkies so that she can help them spy on Mackie. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to do the same.
I'm going to give you 0 points.
How? What else could he buy? He's looking at walkie-talkies?
Yes.
And the rest of them all have walkie-talkies?
Yeah. So he's going to put one of the G.I. Joe walkie-talkies at Mackie's house and then keep the other. So they're basically sound spying on him.
Right. But you can't hear what's happening on the other side of a walkie-talkie unless the person on the other side holds the button down.
They tape it down.
They tape it down. Well, fuck. All right.
So that's the plan.
All right.
So Manhunt is happening per usual.
Okay.
And they're all
This
kind
sounds
of
fun.
Yeah.
Let's do a grown-up manhunt or capture
it
the
reminds
flag.
me of like we used to do shit like that.
I fucking
like
love
Ghost in
Capture
the
the Flag.
Graveyard. We used to play
Yes!
a lot. Yeah.
Oh my God. That sounds so
With
fun.
my friend Kyle.
Oh.
So basically the boys are kind of surrounding Mackie's house and they're all keeping eyes on him.
Okay.
So at one point one can see them. They're all walkie-talking back and forth. And they're kind of hanging there's like a greenery wall, ivy kind of thing on his house. And so they're attempting to connect it to that pretty much.
Okay.
But Davey has to like get on Woody's shoulders for whatever reason.
Right.
So the other boys are talking. They see him and now like Cole River's like, holy shit, he's in the kitchen. He's wearing rubber gloves and he has a bucket of cleaning shit. And then Faraday's like, he like drops the bucket and he's like, he has blood on his shirt. I mean, I don't know. It might be blood, but it could be paint, but what? And he's like, and then he's like, fuck, he went into the basement. And then they like run around to the basement window. All the basement windows are painted over.
What?
So he's like, Mackie's MIA.
That is suspicious.
So they've gotten the walkie up there and Davey now runs around to the other side of the house and one of the window shades like opens up and he's like, and he's like, oh shit, and runs away. And it was Mackie standing in the window. And so later that night, they're again walking, and he's like, Davey says to the boys, Mackie thinks we were just playing Manhunt. Like, it's totally fine. But he's like, fuck, the G.I. Joe walkie isn't working. Like, I need to go fix it.
Oh, shit.
So it's the next day, and he's on his paper route. So Davey walks up to the house right towards the ivy and turns on his G.I. Joe walkie. Okay. So it starts to be like, and then right behind him, Davey. And he turns, and Mackie's behind him.
Hey.
And Mackie's like, hey, bud, like, you scared the hell out of me the other last night.
How old is Mackie, approximately?
30 to 40,
okay,
I guess.
In the very beginning, I was picturing him as like an older man. So that's why I was, okay, he's like
no, he's
30
like,
to 40.
Yeah, he's actually the guy from Mad Men, who I'm not going to be able to describe which one he is.
Cool,
in
helpful.
Mad Men.
Appreciate it. Great.
He's in Mad Men.
Great. I'll figure it out.
He wears glasses. He's maybe a little bit of the chubbier one in Mad Men of all of them.
Yeah.
Well, it's him.
Okay.
You'd recognize him.
Got it.
But so 30s, 40s, because he's like a cop, you know, in the prime of his life. Plus, also, that's the age of the possible serial killer.
Ah, right.
Anyway, so Davey's like, oh, yeah, sorry, we were just playing Manhunt. Didn't expect to see you there. And he's like, yeah, I guess you didn't expect to see me either, whatever. And he's like, so let me guess, you need money again for the paper. And he's like, don't worry, I'm ready for you this time. Come on around back.
Woo!
Question number 6. Do you go, and does Davey go?
I do not. And I go, you know what? I'm actually in a little bit of a hurry. I'm going to head out, but would you mind just leaving it in the mailbox for tomorrow? That's what I'm going to do. I think Davey goes. Yay!
So Davey follows him.
Finally, a double ding. I feel like it's been a really long time since I've gotten a double ding.
It's going to be okay. So Davey follows him to the backyard, and there's a garden area where there's like clearly freshly covered, like freshly new dirt that was like in the shape of a grave, basically.
Come on.
Surrounded by a couple sporadic flowers.
Come on.
And Mackie now sees that Davey has that G.I. Joe walkie-talkie, which is like clearly like his old walkies, you know, like he's upgraded a little to the ones they actually use now. And Mackie's like, you aren't using those, are you? Like the G.I. Joe one. And he's like, hey, you know what? I've got a couple of like really cool walkies that are just from the actual police like force, that they're like retired.
Oh, shit.
And he's like, they're literally just like sitting inside like collecting dust. He's like, why don't you come on in and take a look? Question number 7. Does he go, and do you go?
He goes in for sure. I've gone around to the back now. I'm still gonna say that sounds super cool, but I'm really busy. Maybe when I come by tomorrow, can you bring them out while I'm on my route? What?
You get a point for you.
Okay.
He says, oh, I can't. I gotta get back to my route.
All right, good job, buddy.
And then like as he's trying to walk away, like the G.I. Joe gets all like staticky and shit, and he's like, these are shitty walkies, because they're like basically causing each other static. And like Mackie just kind of like yells after him. He's like, all right, well, the offer stands, like come by anytime. So now it's nighttime, and Davey is again looking out his window with his binoculars, and he's looking at Mackie's house, and he sees one window where the blinds are pulled down, and he goes to the next window. Mackie's standing there, just looking back at him with his own binoculars. And immediately Davey ducks down, and then he peeks back up and looks over, and the G.I. Joe walkie is now just sitting in that window with nothing else there.
Oh no. If you are an adult looking through binoculars, you're a creep. Unless you are in the woods looking at birds.
Then you're still a creep.
And then you're still a creep. Yeah. You are a creep if you look through binoculars over the age of 15. The end. There's no other reason. Period.
Standard.
Yeah.
No possible reason. No. Nothing I can think of why you'd ever need them.
See it with your naked eye. It wasn't meant for you. You're a creep.
So Davey gets on his walkie and he's like freaking out to the boys. And they're like, dude, it's like 1 a.m. And he's like, I don't care. We need an emergency meeting. Treehouse now.
We should get a treehouse.
Yeah.
We could a recording treehouse.
A pod tree.
Yes,
Tree
a tree pod loft house.
Recording
tree
house.
house.
Okay,
Binoculars.
cool.
Peek-a-Boobs.
I was going to do the same thing. So they're at the treehouse, and Davey's like, well, he knows that I'm looking, but he doesn't know that any of you guys are looking.
Right.
So here's the plan. Tomorrow,
Yes, he does also.
Tomorrow at 11 p.m. when he goes on his jog, Woody and Faraday, you're going to follow him. Mm-hmm. Cole River and I are going to go to the garden. We're going to dig it up.
Ooh.
And they're like, dig it up? Like, the fuck? He's going to know. And
How
he's
long
like,
does he run for?
an hour.
Okay.
They said an hour.
Yeah.
But they'll have their walkies. So they're like, if he's coming back early for whatever reason, you radio us.
Right.
So
right.
regardless, like if he's coming back, let us know. And they're like, what about the garden? Like, he'll know we're there. And he's like, raccoons. It's foolproof.
Is it?
So now it's nighttime.
Anytime something goes wrong, I'm just gonna be like raccoons. I don't know.
You know,
Toilets clogged. Raccoons.
I was trying to think of anything else that could go wrong, and I was just blanking.
There's a new dent in my car. Raccoons.
So
You didn't pay your electric bill. Raccoons.
Okay.
This could go on.
May I return?
Yes, you may.
Thank you. So it's nighttime. Faraday and Woody are following Mackie on their bikes. He's jogging. And Mackie goes to a storage unit. And he unlocks it and goes in. And the boys are hiding behind a dumpster across the way, kind of. And they start fighting over who has to like go up and look closer. And somehow Woody loses. So he has to go. And the garage door is kind of like slightly open so he can just see through the bottom. And he sees that there's like a car in there. And like he sees like Mackie standing in there, like just like his legs basically. And maybe some like bags of stuff. But like we don't get a too clear of a look. I think bags of dirt among other things. And so Woody runs back and goes back to hide behind the dumpster. The car pulls out of the garage. It's a green buggy.
So not
like
any of the
car.
other cars.
No.
Okay.
A new different car. And Mackie he parks it. He has to get out to then close the garage door. And he hears something behind him by the dumpster. And he walks over to the dumpster. No one's there.
Oh, fake out.
And then he just drives off. The boys had like run to the other side, but they start walking to the friends. Walking?
Yeah. No, I
Sounds
was with
weird.
you.
Walkie-talkieing to the friends.
Yeah.
Sounds like a weird word.
It does.
I'm sure it's not real, but you get what I mean.
It is today.
Is today? Oh, that's how I felt the other night on my date story from last week. Like I was like, what's with today?
Oh, shit. And you're like,
Like, what's happening? So the boys start walking to the other ones being like, hey, we lost him. Like he drove away. Like get out of there. But Davey and Cole River are like busy digging. So
Guys.
they can't hear the walkies.
guys.
They're digging. There's nothing here. So they're like, maybe there's something in that shed over there. They start peeking in with their flashlights. It's padlocked. And Cole River's like, no big deal. I can pick the lock.
Cole River.
Drew like a little heart.
Yeah,
I
of
was
course he
like,
can. Oh my God. I can
course
see
he can.
Kim's notebook right now. Kim and Cole River for number 4 EVA.
KB and CR forever. And like Davey's like, do you even know how to do that? And Cole River's just like, I'm just good at working the hole.
Dude, you have never been in a hole before.
Never. And he's like, I'm just kidding. He's like, you kind of just like stick something in and jiggle it around and usually it works.
Oh no, that's sex. So he has been in a hole. Okay.
I'm glad to know that you and Eric are very happy together. It sounds like you guys have a great, pleasureful life. Enjoy that for the rest of time.
Thank you.
Peek-a-Boobs. So anyway, it does work. He like opens the padlock.
I told you it worked.
They go inside. It's just like shed stuff. And it's like lawnmowers and beach chairs and shit. And then Davey sees an MTV t-shirt. And they go and pick it
I
up.
want my MTV.
Burn it. And he picks it up and he's like, this is Dusty Dewitt's The Ginger shirt.
Oh, shit.
And there's blood on it.
No!
And then all of a sudden we hear, hey, what are you guys doing in there?
We're raccoons.
It's the other two kids. And they came running out. And they're like, we gotta go. We lost him. So they all run out. And now they're at the treehouse. And they have the shirt laid out. They're looking at the shirt. They're like, the car. Mackie has a car in a storage unit. He has hundreds of bags of dirt. He has a shovel and pickaxes. And the boys with charcoal signs? None of this makes sense. What does that mean? Charcoal. And boys with... What does that say? I guess it's not important, but...
I hope not.
Oh, and he has bags with chemical signs on them. Woody saw some bags in the storage unit with chemical signs on them. And he's like, they looked hazardous. It said Noah. Capital Noah. But it was spelled weird. And so he writes it down and it's like capital N, little O, capital A, capital H. And Faraday's like, you idiot. Did it look like this? And then he spells out basically, he's like, it's the chemical formula for sodium hydroxide.
Yeah. I knew it was something on the periodic table, but I didn't know which one. Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't know which one that was either. But when I was 15, I probably would have because you're fucking learning that shit right then. So yeah, it was like N,
number
little
80,
O,
big H, little G,
O-H.
mercury.
So chemical formula for sodium hydroxide. And one of them's like, I don't know what that is, but it's not used in gardening. Like that shit's toxic. And so Faraday like breaks out the science book and he's like, that breaks down chemical bonds that keep flesh intact. It's used to decompose roadkill and stops the smell.
Oh no, that is right in line with what they suspect.
So they have all this evidence now.
Yeah.
Question number 8. What do they do and what do you do?
Oh, fuck. So what I would do at this age, I can see myself doing it, is I would go to my parents very dramatically and say, I think I need to tell you something and I don't know what to do. Because I feel like if I really suspected that somebody was murdering kids, I would go to my parents rather than call the cops immediately. I would ask them what they think I should do. I don't think these kids tell their parents or go to the cops. I think they try to fucking solve it on their own like little idiots. The end. Yay!
I'm going to give you a point for you because I think that maybe it's the best choice. And they do the same.
They go to their parents?
Davey's like, it's time to tell my parents.
Oh, good for you. They're smarter than I thought.
So
I wasn't giving them enough credit.
We cut to the living room with all the evidence laid out. And clearly they had just told them everything. And Davey's dad is like, he's a cop and he's our neighbor. This shit doesn't prove anything. And you've been spying on him? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, you're in so much trouble. You have vandalism, spying, stalking. Like, you're not saving anyone. Like, you are in trouble. You are going there now and you are all apologizing.
Oh man, I would not have gotten in trouble for spying. Just the other day when the kids were getting kicked out of that house, my mom was like, the cops are over at the neighbor's house, like texted me. And so I called later, like kind of jokingly. I was like, did you go spy on them? She goes, of course I went and spied on them. And I said, really? How? And she goes, well, your father and I went to the window in the dining room, but we couldn't see anything. So we ran upstairs and we went out and looked out your brother's window. And I opened the window so I could hear everything.
Yes, of course.
Of
That's
course.
what you do.
Yeah.
Wow. These boys got in trouble because they're like, it's like
That's also
I
the
mean,
80s.
But
where
it's
people
also
were
slightly like the way that you talked about your neighbors that you really like. Like, what if you were doing this to one of them?
Yes. No, that is true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, basically, that's what's
They
happening.
probably really like Mr. Mack.
100%.
Yeah.
And he's like a cop and their friend, and they've clearly been neighbors
right.
and friends for at least 15 years.
That's true.
Like,
If
he
it
was
was
like, I remember when your dad brought you home as a baby. Like,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. If it was those neighbors, yeah, that would be.
Yeah.
We had
So-
some creepy neighbors like across the street that I feel
it's
like they would
not
totally.
your creepy neighbor. Like,
Yeah.
it's like your friend.
Your friend, yeah.
So the dad brings all of them to Mackie's house,
Mm-hmm.
knocks on the door, and he's like, hey, Wayne. I don't know what your name is. I think it's Wayne, actually. The boys want to tell you something. And I just want to let you know that we are outraged. So
I can't wait till I'm a parent and I get to use the word outraged.
I am outraged.
I don't think you get to use it until you're a parent.
Oh, is that the rule?
Yeah.
I'm going to start using it now because I'm a fucking rebel.
There you go.
You know how I feel about that?
Outraged.
So the boys want to tell you something. Oh, so Davey is like, hey, Mr. Mackey, like, we're sorry. We know you thought that raccoons like did these things in your house, but it was us.
Oh.
And Mr. Mackey's like, why? And Davey's like, well, I thought I saw this missing kid in your house on the milk carton. And I think even like has the milk carton. And I thought that you were the Cape May Slayer.
He's just out with it.
And Mackie just stands there and he kind of like slowly starts to laugh. And then he's like cracking up and he's like, oh man, the guys at the station are going to love this.
Oh.
And he's like, no, that's my nephew, Jamie. He was here to help me like remodel the dark room.
Oh.
Like, that's his t-shirt. He must have just like cut himself or something while we were like working. I don't know, whatever.
I'm suspicious.
But like, I appreciate the apology, like no hard feelings. And he's like, you know, I can go like call Jamie if you want, like right now to kind of like, we can go talk to him together if you want. And like the dad's like, no, like it's fine. We don't need to do all of that. And Mr. Mackey's just like, it's cool. Like, I know what it's like to be like a boy, like in the summer, you know, like,
Yeah.
you cannot
Looking
like,
for shit to get into.
yeah, it's like, you can't like,
I got you.
you want to do adventures.
Yeah.
You can't say no to an adventure.
There you go.
Right. So now the boys are kind
I
of like,
you want to do adventures. You want to do adventures.
you want to do adventures? You want to do holes? You want to do anything? Can I do anything with my dick? Do I want to do something with my dick? Do anything with my dick?
I want to do an adventure with my dick.
Oh, my eye! So they
What
kind of
happened to your eye? I had an adventure.
Peek-a-Boobs. So they walk away, and Davey's just kind of like, this doesn't change anything.
Of course not.
And one of the guys is like, dude, this is like too heavy. Like, I'm out. The dad walks up to them and is like, everyone go home. I'm calling your parents and letting them know what happened. Davey, you're grounded until further notice.
Oh.
So Davey's in his room now, and he has a padlock, and he's like trying to pick it.
Yeah.
You know, and he actually like ends up getting it. He's like, yes. The phone rings. He picks it up, and it's Nikki, and she says, can you come over? So he goes over there in her room, and she's like looking through like an old box of pictures, and there's one with him in it from like when they were a little younger. And Nikki's just like, just like feels like it's the end of something. Like, I feel so alone.
Oh, because her parents. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, like her parents are getting divorced, so clearly like maybe they're moving away,
Yeah.
something like that. And Davey's like, you're not alone. I wish I could get out of here with you. And Nikki's like, why do you want to leave? And she's like, shit, you got caught. And he's like, yeah, I'm grounded. And she's like, what do you do here then? He's like, I don't know, I snuck out. And he's like, I know I'm right, and that's the shittiest part. And she's like, you know, and he says something along the lines of like, if we don't do it, like, who's going to, or something, you know. So now it's daytime.
And he's not totally wrong, just because it's like, if it is the cops aren't going to necessarily investigate their own cop on the word of a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
I hear you.
So
I hear you,
it's
buddy.
Daytime, and there's a knock on Davey's door. He goes and opens it. It's Mackie.
Hi, Mackie.
And
What's up?
he's in his cop uniform. And Mackie's like, hey, I just wanted to make sure we're good. Like, can I just come in and chat? Question number 9, does he let him in? And do you?
Davey does not, because he still suspects him. So he makes up some excuse about how he's just on his way out, or he's grounded and he's not allowed to have anyone over or something like that. Makes an excuse. I feel like, are my parents home? I don't let him in either. I make up an excuse. Sweet.
Davey's like, oh, no, it's not a good time. So they're just standing in the doorway talking now. And Mackie's like, I just want to let you know that we have all of our guys on this. Like, we are working on it. And he's like, if you want, I can come over and give you updates if that makes you feel better about like catching this fucking dude. Like, we're working on it. And Davey's just kind of like, no. And he has like a little bit of an attitude. And Mackie's just like, wow, you really got it out for me, don't you?
Yeah.
And Davey's like, well, I'm grounded, like, et cetera, et cetera. And he's like, and Mackie's like, oh man, like, I didn't mean to like get you grounded. Like, if you want, I can like say something to your parents. He's like, I just want you to know, like, you've got a good brain for this. He's like, that's the same reason I became a cop, like kind of investigating and stuff like that. And he's like, you know, if there's anything else I can do, let me know. And Davey's like, well, you said you'd call your nephew. Can you do that?
Okay.
And Mackie's like, sure.
Okay.
So he's like, can I come in and use the phone?
Right.
And Davey's like, no, our cord's really long. It's the 80s. Yeah. So you know exactly which phone he has.
do.
Where it's like the one that hangs on the wall and it's the longest cord.
Stretches
of life.
forever.
And you like twist it around yourself when you're talking on it. So Davey walks into the kitchen. As he walks in, Mackie kind of steps into the foyer, into the house. And Davey hears him come in, so he grabs a knife and puts it in the back of his pants.
Whoa, nice Davey.
And then he takes the phone and brings it out to him. And Mackie then calls and like it's ringing. And he's like, my sister's in Seattle. Ringing, not answering. Okay, well, maybe I'll come back later and give it a try. And Davey's like, no, like, I'm sorry for being an idiot. And so Mackie's like, look, we're going to do everything we can to catch this bastard. Mm-hmm. And he leaves.
Okay.
I was going to ask this as a question, but I don't think I knew it existed as an option.
Well,
so
let
I
me see,
didn't
because
wanna...
maybe it can be a bonus if I get it.
Okay. What does Davey do next?
Oh, fuck. Were you going to say something else before I cut you off? You were like, I didn't think it existed? Oh, you were. Okay.
Well, yeah, because what he does, I didn't know was an option. Like, I know what the option was like during our time, but I don't think that existed during this time. So he does something else that's very similar.
So he leaves. I mean, Mackie leaves, right? Right. He star 69's it. Star 69's the number.
They don't have star 69. So but that's basically it.
Yeah.
He calls the operator.
So that, yeah. Because I guess you could do that, couldn't you? You could like talk to a operator. Yes.
Apparently.
You could. Okay.
So.
But like basically star 69.
Basically, yeah. That's the idea. So he calls the operator and he's standing in the kitchen now and he says, can you tell me the last number that was called from this house? And so he's writing on the whiteboard, 555-0167. And then we see the list of the emergency numbers.
It's Mackie's.
Mackie, 555-0167.
Yes. Do I get a bonus point?
I'll give you half a point.
What the fuck? Fine. You're so stingy. You're the stingiest point giver. No, it's fine. You're good. You're good. You're a great point giver. You're fine. Peek-a-Boobs.
I'm sorry. Do you want me to take
No,
that?
I don't.
Away?
No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't. Okay, so it matches and it's 555 Mackie's number.
So it's nighttime. All the boys are in Davey's room now. And he's like, this proves he's guilty. He called his own house.
Right.
And he's like, we got to get into that basement. And the boys are like, dude, we already got in trouble. And at this point, the mom calls Davey downstairs and he puts his walkie on his side and he's like, all right, I'm coming down. And he's like, I'll radio you guys if I think she knows you're up here and you just climb out the window because he's still grounded.
Right.
So he goes downstairs and the mom has the news on and she's like, I want you to watch this. And basically it's talking about how they caught the Cape May Slayer.
Oh, shit.
And so he just holds the button of the walkie so the boys can hear the news as well. And it's like a press conference of them talking about catching it. And here we have the arresting officer, Officer Mackie.
No.
And the mom is like, the Bay Festival is back on and it's all because of Mr. Mackie. He's a hero, not a killer. I wanted you to see this.
Okay.
Davey goes back up to his room and they're kind of like, he's like, Oh, and Davey's like, he's clearly guilty. Is it not coincidental that like he's the one that
who
happens
arrests
to
him?
catch
Yeah.
the thing when we've caught on to him? And the boys are like, can you just like admit that you're wrong?
Yeah.
And he's like, there is something in that basement that's padlocked.
I mean, I don't disagree. Like, there's something. It's padlocked and the windows are painted. That's fucking weird. I'm with you, Davey. Let's go.
Well, the boys are like, even if we get in, we can't take any evidence out without him knowing.
Yeah.
Question number 10. What is his plan to get the how? And what's your plan?
We can't take any evidence without him knowing. Any evidence out. Do they break in and take pictures of stuff? I'm gonna break the window, climb in through one of the windows when he's out on his run, and I'm gonna take some pictures of stuff that I see. What do they do? I think they do the same.
I'm going to give you 1 point, which is a half point for each,
Okay.
because they decide, Davey's like, we'll use my dad's camcorder.
Okay.
So they're going to videotape
Yeah.
everything. And he's like, tape doesn't lie.
Oh my God, you little dummy. He's
80s
so
and amazing.
cute.
So Davey's like, look, because the rest of the boys like aren't as in it anymore,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
And Davey's like, I'll take the risk. You just need to watch my back.
Right.
And Cole River's like, no, dude, like, we're going to get caught. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to do this anymore. And Davey's like, everyone will be at the Bay Festival
Because like at this
tomorrow.
point, it's like breaking and entering.
Yeah.
For sure.
And they've already gotten in trouble. And so Davey's like, the Bay Festival is tomorrow. So like everyone and their mother will be there. And Faraday's like, yeah, I'm going to be with my parents. They never let me like
Leave their
like I
side.
have to go with them. And
Yeah.
he's like, exactly. You're going to go with your parents and you're going to keep an eye on Mackie at the festival.
Oh.
And then Woody is going to come watch like outside the house. And like they slowly kind of all like one by one put their hands in the circle like on
Right.
top of each other. And they're like, all right, we're in.
Yeah.
But they're like, this is your last shot, Davey.
Yeah.
So it's the next day. And his parents are leaving for the festival. And he's like fake upset about it. Just being like, can I do this to go? Can I do this to go? And they're like, you're grounded. You have to stay here. And
Yeah, and he's like,
oh
yes.
man.
Yeah.
So we kind of basically see like the whole neighborhood like walking like towards the festival. It's 80s as fuck.
Love it.
Mackie's there. We're at the festival. Mackie's there. He's a hero. Like Faraday has eyes on him. People are just like shaking his hands because they're like, thank you so much. Cole River is leaving his house and he's walking outside, but we hear like inside his parents are like screaming at each other. And he's like just walking out like in his like leather jacket and shit, but he's like clearly upset and kind of like starting to like hide his tears because his like dick brother Kyle is actually sitting outside in his car and he's just a real dick to him. And they, I don't know, whatever. And they kind of like have some little words back and forth, but like, you know,
Hurt people.
yeah, it sounds like he's got a shitty family situation. So Davey and Woody get the camcorder and they break in through Mackie's window and Davey's going to climb in and Woody ends up following him in.
Woody, no. You have
And-
to stay out there.
Well, I think Cole River's sitting out, going to wait outside
Okay.
too.
All right.
But Woody was supposed to wait outside and he's like, I'm not letting my best friend go into a serial killer's house alone.
Oh, sweet little Woodwood.
Question, would you follow me in?
I mean, if there was a Cole Rivers there, I would follow you in for sure. And I would be the weapon if you're holding the camcorder. Like my sole job would be to like have your back
Thank you.
with a weapon of some kind.
So anyway, so they both go in and they shut the window and then bam,
Ah.
Nikki's at the window
Hello?
and they all scream. And she's like, I figured you guys might need some help. I saw you
Nikki!
over here. So she goes in with them. Back at the festival, Faraday's like fucking eating whatever, a candy apple or something. And
Candy apple's pretty distinctive. Was it a candy apple?
I don't know, or popcorn, candy,
It was popcorn or a candy apple.
Or
A hot dog.
what's the cotton candy?
Cotton candy. Ooh, we got a lot of... Okay,
Some type of fair food.
got it. Funnel cake, perhaps?
Pretty sure it wasn't funnel cake, but a fair
You're positive it wasn't funnel cake. Okay, got it. It could be popcorn or a candy apple or cotton candy, but definitely not a funnel cake.
Correct.
Got it.
100%.
Great.
So he's watching as like something's going on at the front, and they're kind of like unveiling something, and there's a bunch of cops standing up front there, and they pull the sheet off something and it says Peer Beautification Project. And there's a couple cops, including Mackie, standing at the front there holding pickaxes and shovels, and people are clapping. And basically they're like cleaning up the pier and like planting flowers.
And that's
shit
why
like
he
that.
had all the dirt and the pickaxe and the shovel.
And so Faraday's like sees that and he's like eating. He's like, fuck. But we cut back to the Mackie house. The three of them are now walking around, and they go into the basement. The light doesn't work, of course.
Of course. It's a horror movie.
But we hear over the walkie, Davey, you're wrong. It's all for a project. They like planted a shitload of flowers down here. Like it's over from Faraday. So Woody's like, well, we should go. And Nikki O'Reilly O'Meg was like,
Got a Meg in there. We haven't had a Meg in there before.
I don't know. We're already here. If it's him, we may as well find out.
Yeah.
And Davey's like, it is him, and we're gonna find the proof. Cole River is like sitting on a bench outside. We see him now. He's like just listening to his Walkman, and like a car drives by, but it like keeps going. Back to the basement. They're like, for some reason, they don't have their flashlights at this point, but makes no sense because they always have their flashlights. But they're like, do you have a flashlight? And they're like, no, but there's a light on the camera. So they turn the light on the camera now. So now it's that kind of thing. We're looking in the dark, but it's just like the light camera around. And Nikki O'Reilly O'Shea was like, this is the creepiest basement ever. They're walking around and they're just like, and all of a sudden they bump into something and it's like a hanging light bulb, and they're all like, but they're like, it's just the light. And they pull the string and it like burns out.
Oh shit.
They keep walking and they hear bang. It's the hot water heater.
Jeez.
And then they put the light on the padlocked door.
Yeah.
And Davey is like, goes to pick it.
Yeah.
And like, kind of make some jokes about it because they're like, did Cole River like teach you this? But he like actually works. He gets it unlocked, and they're like, we did it. We go back outside. It's nighttime. Cole River is sitting on the bench. He hears something. He looks over. No one's there. Vagina!
Vagina?
Faraday sneaks up and just yells, vagina at him.
That's amazing. That is amazing. I love it.
And Cora's like, what the fuck are you doing here, dude? You're supposed to be watching Mackie.
Yeah.
And Faraday's like, no, it's off. It's a long story. And Cole River's
because
like,
Cole Rivers didn't have the walkie-talkie.
yeah. And so Cole River is like, I mean, I want to hear it. Maybe I'll just like sleep at your place tonight.
Oh, because it's...
And Faraday's like, parents again. And Cole's like, yeah, I mean, like, let's just say I don't want to witness a murder-suicide.
Jesus Christ.
And so Faraday is like, okay, yeah, dude. And it's like another cute moment, like between the boys. Like it was like the same as like when Woody and Davey had that. And I was like, but they like leave and like switch off their walkies.
Okay.
And it's just like cute. So we're back in the basement now, and they go inside the room. And it looks like a kid's bedroom. Again, it's very dark because now there's like no windows in this place and we're just seeing with the camera light.
Right.
But like an old-timey kid's bedroom.
Oh, God.
And they're like, is this where he keeps his victims? ? And they see like a signed baseball, kind of sitting up, and they go pick it up. And it says, to Mackie, like, keep going, slugger, 1958.
Okay.
And Davey's like, holy shit, was this his room when he was a kid?
What?
And Nikki O'Reilly Mary Shea's like, but these houses weren't built yet. Like, where's the... Where's the... I don't know what that says. I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter. Where's the evidence? Where's the evidence?
Where is it?
Then there's a noise. And we see like a closet ? Door over on the wall. Question number 11. What do they do? What do you do?
They're gonna go in, and I'm gonna go in. My curiosity, I would die from the curiosity. I'm gonna die either way. I'd rather die of being murdered and know what's happening.
So Davey goes and opens the door. It's a bathroom, and there's basically like a curtain in front of him.
Okay.
Like a shower curtain right in front. It's very dark. He goes up, pulls the curtain aside, and there's pictures hanging
Of
Dusty Dewitt, the milk box kid.
no ginger.
And he's like, the ginger question mark. And he's like, is this enough proof? And they look down, and there's a bathtub filled with blood and a decomposing body.
No, he was right the whole time.
And then a hand grabs Nikki's leg, and they look down, and that random kid that was like walking in the street that got snatched is like sitting there like looking almost dead, basically in the dark, sitting on the floor, and it's just like, help me.
Oh my God.
And they carry the kid upstairs, and they're in the living room now, and Davey stops. And he looks at all the pictures on the wall of the families. And he recognizes that missing kid from the newspaper. And another missing kid from a newspaper.
That's not his family.
And another missing kid. And he's like, the people in these pictures aren't his family. They're his victims.
Oh, shit. And then he sees his own family.
A picture of his own family. And Davey's like, I'm next.
Shit.
Cut to police station. They're showing the cops their fucking video because the tape don't lie.
Right?
The tape don't lie.
The tape don't lie.
The tape don't lie. And the head cop is like, bring them in. And they all go and scatter, and like the parents are there, and the cop is like, this boy's alive because of your son. He's a hero.
Can you please do the bring him in again?
They're at the police station, and they're showing the cops the video, and the head cop is like, bring him in. And the cop is like, this boy's alive because of your son. He's a hero. And so now Davey's sitting outside of the cop station, and Nikki O'Reilly O'Mary O'Shea comes and sits next to him, and she's kind of like, it feels not real. Or no, Davey's like, it just feels like not real. And Nikki is like, my parents came in and they saw each other and they hugged each other. And she's like, that hasn't happened in a long time.
Oh.
And she's like, I mean, I don't like expect anything out of it, but it happened because of you. And she turns and she kisses him. And she's like, see you, Davey. And she
then
goes
she
inside.
gets a black eye from his boner.
And then she's like, oh, my eye. So many black eyes in this
I know,
episode. She goes inside, and now they're driving home, and it's Davey and his parents, and the dad is like, I mean, I just want to let you know that I love you, pal, and I'm so sorry, and I'm proud of you. Like, I'm real proud, you know. And it's like sweet. And they're at their house now, and the cops are all at Mackie's house, and Woody's going to be sleeping over, and the dad's like, don't worry, you're safe now. I'll make sure of it. And he's like, they have an APB out. Like, they're going to get him.
Do you know what an APB is? Or I don't know what that stands for. Like, I've heard that before, but I don't actually know what it means.
It's when they're looking for something.
I meant, do you know what the acronym
stands
is?
For
All people.
No.
Bring them in.
All police bulletin.
Oh. Did you just pull that out of your asshole?
I'm not sure.
Okay, I thought so.
I think it might be it, though.
That's cool if it is. If you're right, I'm going to be impressed. Okay, so they have an APB out.
He's like, the APB's been out for hours. Like, they're going to get him. And the mom's kind of like, you're going to be the talk of the town. And Davey's like, nothing's ever going to be the same. And they're like, okay, get some rest, boys. And so the parents leave, and they're in the bedroom now. And Woody's just like, do you think they'll catch him? And Davey's like, there's nowhere left for him to hide. Like we got him. It's over. And they high five, and we cut to black. And then we're back on, and it's nighttime. The clock in Davey's room says 12:15. They're asleep in bed, and there's a slow zoom towards the doorway through into the hallway, And the attic door, roof door, slowly comes down, and the stairs slowly come down from the attic. And we see Boots walking down, and Mackie walks into Davey's bedroom. And now we're staring over Davey's sleeping body, and he opens his eyes, and bam, a hand comes over his face with a bandana and covers his mouth until he passes out, and we fade to black.
Shit.
He comes to, and it's Davey sitting next to Woody in the back of what we're assuming is the cop car, with bandanas in their mouth, maybe tied up, and he kind of gets the bandana out of his mouth, and he's like, Woody, wake up. And they kind of untie each other, and the windows are all fogged, so they can't see shit. And they're then they hear a thump, and they're like, it's Mackie. So they can't see outside of the car, but they're like, what should we do? They're kind of do we get he's out
what
there.
do we do?
And then all of a sudden there's a smash to the front windshield. And Davey's like, we got to get out of here. And Woody's like, no, he's out there. And then the door next to Woody slowly opens. But no one's out there. And then bam! Mackie bangs on the door, Davey's side door.
Yeah.
So now he's on Davey's side. The door from Woody's is open. Question number 12. What do they do and what do you do?
Oh, are their legs tied?
Mm-mm.
So, and they've untied each other?
Right.
We're going to roll out the open door, but I'm gonna do... Okay. I feel like he'd be expecting me to run out the door and straight away. So I'm gonna run out the door and kind of run around the side of the car, hoping that he'll kind of come, we'll do that little dance thing, and then I'll be able to lose him.
You're going to dance it out a little
I'm going to dance it out a little first.
Cool,
I'm going to do a Zora, Monster Zora dance.
80s dance?
Yeah.
80s dance party?
You bet. I mean,
Someday somebody's gonna make you wanna turn around and say goodbye. Till then, baby, are you gonna let me hold you down and make you cry? Don't you know? Things will change. Things will go your way. If you hold on for one more day, things will go your way. Hold on for one more day.
Wow. We're starting our own acapella group, guys. What are we doing? Oh,
you're trying to live.
Stay alive. So here's my problem. This seems too obvious to me, but I don't know what else I would do. If somebody bangs on the door, my fight or flight is either going to make me A, shit my pantaloons, or B, run out of the open door. So though I don't know that that's the right answer because I feel suspicious, I feel like that's genuinely what they would do. And myself as well.
Okay.
While shitting my pants.
Right. This one's tough.
Of whether or not
I'm going to
I'm alive?
definitively give you a point for what they do.
Great.
And
I know, because it's what the fuck?
This is something we're going to have to think on.
Yeah.
Because it's tough. How do we survive this?
Yeah. Because it's also he probably has a gun. Mm-hmm.
Probably.
Running, what's running going to do?
Right.
That's why I'm thinking
clearly, he clearly did that on purpose.
Maybe I shit myself. Maybe that surprises him enough that he's ew, gross. Maybe I'm changing my answer.
You changed your answer
to shitting myself,
running away, to shitting your pants.
Yeah.
Survival tip number 8042.
Shit your pants. I'm changing it. They flight. I shit my pants. Do I get a point?
I truly don't
know. It's surprising.
You know what? I'm just going to give it to you because
you.
I don't fucking know. I actually don't know how you would survive this one. So, they get out and run, and it leads directly into the woods.
Don't run into the woods.
And then they hear behind them over the loudspeaker, over the
megaphone.
And Mackie's like, I know how much you boys love games. We're going to play Manhunt, but now it's for real.
Oh, shit.
And like the cop siren kind of starts like going off a little. And they run through the woods. Now Mackie's kind of following behind. He has a flashlight. The boys are running and they like get to something, but it's very dark now and they don't have flashlights. And they stop. And I think it's maybe a body of water because they're like, fuck, they have to go back another way. And then they stop again. And the boys are like, where are we? And Woody's like, it's the tidal islands. Like it has to be. So they're clearly like out of where they normally, out of where they live. Like he took them away somewhere and there's some type of water around. And the boys are like, we got to keep going. If we just keep going, we'll find the road.
Okay.
So they keep running. And like Mackie's kind of yelling behind them like, hey, boys, I'm going to get you.
Oh, no.
And at this point, Woody trips and falls.
Woody!
And he like starts, like, I think he like hurts himself a little and he starts to scream. And like Davey like comes up behind him and like grabs his mouth so he doesn't
Shushes
scream.
him. Yeah.
Which is like, I'm like, yes, can
thank
you guys
you.
be quiet?
Yeah.
And then they are both kind of like laying on the ground at this point and they start to look around and there's body parts everywhere.
What
like
the fuck?
Decomposing bodies.
Holy shit.
All around them. And Davey's like, okay, we need to get back to the cruiser.
Right.
And Woody's like, I can't die tonight, man. My mom needs me.
Oh.
And Davey's like, you're not going to die. I got you into this and I'm going to get you out. He's like, look, Davey's like, I'm going to be the diversion. I'll get his attention and you go to the cruiser. And Woody's like, no, man, no. And Davey just starts screaming, hey, Mackie over here, loser. So he's like, Woody, run. And so Woody runs and Davey hides behind a tree and he's like kneeling behind it and peeking out. And then Mackie cuts his like lower thigh, right above his knees.
Ow.
And like throws him onto the ground. And Mackie just stands over him and goes, stay the fuck there. Now Woody sees the cop car and is like basically at a tree, sees the cop car. He's stopped at the tree and we hear Davey yelling behind him being like, Woody, he's coming, run. And so Woody runs to the car. Mackie tackles him, grabs him, picks him up, slices his throat.
No, Woody. No.
I know.
No.
That's all I wrote was no.
No.
He slices his throat and he just holds him while he bleeds out.
Oh my God.
And I'm so sad.
I'm so sad.
His
And poor mom.
did not expect that.
No.
At all. I was having so much fun.
His poor mommy.
So now it's dark and hard to see. And Davey is like limping towards the cop car. And he's like, Woody. And he sees Woody's body. And Mackie grabs him. And Mackie now is like fucking pissed. And he's like, you brought this on yourself. All you had to do was leave me alone. And Davey's like, I'm sorry. And Mackie's like, you forced me out of my home. You stole my life. And he starts sobbing.
Oh my God.
And he's like, you do not get to be sorry because all I want to do is kill you right now. And that is not enough.
What a fucking scrote monster.
You've spent so much time thinking about me. And I want you to keep thinking about me. I want you to imagine what I'm going to do when I come back for you. And I am coming back for you. After you spend every day looking over your shoulder, wondering, is this the day that I'm coming back for you? Because one day you'll be right. And he throws him on the ground and he gets in the car and drives off.
Shit.
Fade to black. Now it's like an overhead view of cop cars and people kind of surrounding like the houses. And then we cut back to Davey and he's like dragging himself through the woods, like limping because of his cut leg.
Yeah.
And he's just like, finally gets to kind of like a road area and there's a car driving and stops and Davey's just like passed out on the ground like covered in dirt and some guy like stops and picks him up and puts him in the back seat. And as they're driving, they drive by a cop car on fire on the side of the road. And now we're at the hospital room. Davey's in bed and the parents come in and start hugging him. And Davey's at home. And he's just sitting on the floor in his room, like huddled in the ball and just starts sobbing.
Oh.
And it's so sad. And now cut back to 80s music. and almost like the same as like the very beginning. It's a paperboy Davey on his bike, 80s music, voiceover. You never know what might be coming around the corner. And that's the thing about this place. It all might seem normal and routine, but the truth is, the suburbs are where the craziest shit happens. And we see a car drive by him with Nikki O'Mary O'Reilly O'Shea in the back seat, and she kind of just puts her hand on the window like she's leaving. And then he drives by, or like bikes by. It's just like music now that we're hearing. And he drives by Cole Rivers' house, and Cole and Faraday are like carrying pieces of wood and like that blackboard and stuff like towards the trash. And Cole's like clearly pissed and just like throwing the boards down. Like probably his dad made him get rid of the treehouse.
Oh no.
And they're just throwing it into a trash pile. Voiceover. Because just past the manicured lawns and friendly waves, inside any house, even the one next door, and he bikes by Mackie's house that has police tape all around it. Anything could be happening and you'd never know. If I've learned anything, it's that people hardly ever let you know who they really are. It's a tough pill to swallow, I know, but it's true. And he like pulls out a paper, like a newspaper from his bag, and it says, Cape May Slayer cop still on the loose. And he's like, even serial killers live next door to somebody. Cut to black. And then summer of 84.
Shit. That was good.
I know.
Kim, you know who I really am. Just so you know.
Oh, as a person. Yeah, I do.
Yeah. You know who
Same.
I really am.
Maybe. I don't know. You don't know who I am.
Burns. I'm going to shit myself.
It's the only way I know to survive now.
I want to see my points.
Justin, can you believe it's almost time?
Time for what?
The 2019 live stream for The Cure. This is our third year hosting this amazing event, with every single cent going toward cancer research.
The Cancer Research Institute funds research into immunotherapy to create a future immune to all forms of cancer.
And this amazing nonprofit organization is rated over 92% by charitynavigator.org and puts 88 cents of every dollar toward cancer research.
Last year, thanks to an amazing team of collaborators, fans, supporters, and listeners, we raised over $5,000 in 30 hours on the air.
And this year, with your help, we're going for our biggest goal yet.
Tune in May 17th to the 19th on twitch.tv/epicfilmguys for 40 hours of amazing content as we try to reach $7,500.
And for more information or to find out how you can become a part of the event, please visit www.livestreamforthecure.com. Together, we can make a difference.
Okay.
What'd I do?
Out of 32 points, you got 20 and a half points.
That's not so bad.
That was pretty good.
I really needed that shitting myself point. Oh my God, that's really good.
Wasn't that so good?
That actually might be one that I might watch as well.
It was really fun, and like, I was so sad. It was very unexpected.
Yeah, because it's like normally it's like the twist is that it's not who you think it is. And this time I was like, no, it's who you think it is.
The twist was that it is who you think it is.
Yeah.
And then he fucking killed the sweetest boy.
I know, the sweetest boy, his poor mom. And yeah, that kid is going to live his entire life looking over his fucking shoulder.
Yeah. I hope they do a sequel.
Ooh.
I'm sure they will.
Let's be in it.
It seems set up for it. Creators of Summer of 84 2.
We would like to be in it. Hi.
We're available.
Yeah.
Summer of 85 creators, we're available.
We're available.
Summer of 95, maybe they just go 10 years later. I don't know. Whatever works, we're available.
And
so I was so sad. I was like, because it was like so fun. Like it was like so fun, so 80s. And then they're like, and Woody's dead. And I was like, no. This was just fun. This was all fun and games.
Oh, that was really good.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Fun.
Frenzy. Do we have any other business? Anything else?
I don't think so.
Well, in that case, follow us on all the social meds.
Yeah, friends us. Friends us. I don't know. Words.
At kksampodcast. Yeah? kksampodcast.
kksampodcast.
I don't know why that didn't sound right to me. And, Patreon us or merch us. We have fun content happening coming out.
Bonus content.
Some fun bone con. Ah, my eye. And this has been Kim and Kat Stay Alive, maybe. So until next time,
week, stay alive. Vagina.
Put a ghost in me. I'm done.